Welcome to Hill and Dale and this Age of Empires forecasted game, and today spawning in the northeast corner of the map we've got 3 new civs. Let's go! And that is Beastyqt playing in red as the English. His opponent today in the southwest is CrackedyHere playing in orange as the Rus. Welcome ladies and gentlemen, in what is hopefully going to be a fantastic match of Age of Empires 4. I mean, it's Hill and Dale. But, you know, it's a Beastyqt game. Like, we don't really get to cast these games that often. So when we get the opportunity, we have to take it. You know, rank number 1 in the world at the moment. I don't think there's any doubt about that, at least as far as the ladder goes. You know, I think at one point he was occupying rank 1, 2, and 3. So it's, you know, he's up there, that's for sure. And going up against well-known CrackedyHere. We know him. We love him. And, well, many of you will be cheering him on here today. We shall see. Obviously, Beastyqt, plenty of fans of his own. Now, the English versus the Rus, on this map is such a kind of an interesting one. Like, I think the Rus are incredibly strong on nearly every map. But I think the English are kind of a little bit next level on this map, in particular Hill and Dale. Their ability to kind of camp and be very defensive is really, really strong. I wouldn't say necessarily they're the best civilization. I think the Mongols are really, really good on this map. You know, the ability to get that mobility, aggression, and have trade behind it. But the English are no slouches, especially with some... It depends how it's played out, really, I think. The issue is that in many civilization matchups, you find that civilizations have to really adapt to what the Rus are doing. But I think in many ways, the Rus in this situation have to adapt to what the English are doing. Because the English are quite flexible. They can go 2 town centers. They can go, you know, fast castle. I mean, fast castle against the Rus is a bit tricky because obviously the Rus can do it just that much better. But the real kind of key thing for the English civilization in this matchup is if it goes super late game. It can be really, really challenging for the Rus because whilst they do get gold from hunting cabins that are placed on wood lines, enclosures is such a nice technology. It used to be a lot stronger than it is now, but enclosures in generally, like, it can give you so much gold per farm. Like, you know, it's obviously a limited amount you can get, but the key main thing about enclosures is that you get gold passively and it doesn't take population space, and it's a significant amount of gold. It's not like a small amount. Like, if you have a large enough number of farms, your whole economy can actually sustain itself with just enclosures, and you're getting food as well. So if you produce food and gold heavy units, whether it be knights, crossbows, man-at-arms, it's really, really strong for the English. But they have to get there. That's the thing. They have to get to that late game situation. They have to bleed the opponent dry, make sure they get control of the map, deny the gold veins for the opponent. I think that's certainly a strong win condition for the English, where they just deny the gold for their opponent. It's a possibility. The Rus, on the other hand, they are very much a castle age powerhouse once they get the economy rolling. As you can see, already got wheelbarrow. It's just something that, you know, the Rus do so well, is getting a Kremlin, so he'll be safe for the early game. But I think in many ways that suits the English. I don't think necessarily the English are going to look to be too aggressive, but it does stop this from happening, right? It does stop the aggression coming in from the English. So it's going to be a fascinating one. I think it's going to be a long game today because just the way the civilizations match up against each other. I think really Rus is going to have to be the tempo aggressor. It's going to have to be the one taking the initiative. Maybe looking to get as many relics as possible, be aggressive. But I think in many ways they're going to have to react to what their opponent are doing, right? So we will see how this one pans out. We can see second town center already planned here for Beasty, getting 3 villagers on stone. Although it's not all that many, actually, to be fair. He might be transitioning a couple more soon. Oh, yeah. He's getting the town centre to rally to that, so that explains that situation. And on the back of this, well, let's just see what the Rus are up to. He's going to go for second town centre himself, so... Yep. Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. Get your snacks, get your drinks. We're going to be in here for a long time, hopefully. Well, hopefully with a good game. That's the main thing. Hopefully there'll be lots to discuss, lots to talk about. As we do now look to get a lumber camp there for CrackedyHere. Now, will that actually be boosted up by the Kremlin? That's kind of a concern, actually. It's something to think about. That's going to... Yeah, I think he's going to relocate that a little bit so it gets within range. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can see it. He did that very purposefully. The old one wouldn't have been in range. So keep it a detail to pay attention. It's all well and good having the Kremlin. It needs to boost your lumber camp, but it's got to be within the range. So he's making sure that's going to happen. And you see a little plus on top of that lumber camp to know that it's done. And he's obviously transitioning onto stone as well. There we go. Now, I actually have a build order for the English 2 town centre build, and it's super fast, but I'd be curious to see if the Rus get there faster, because the Rus are really strong with the economy, especially wood economy. I think it is. I think it is going to be the English getting their town centre faster. It's so strong to get this 2 TC build going. If you're interested and you play Age of Empires 4, and you'd like to know that build, do check out the videos in the channel, of course. Hopefully, if I remember, I'll actually link it in the video description if you're interested in that. In any case, well, you would have seen the build order actually the Beastie has on the top right anyway, so you could always watch this VOD again in any case. Now, let's talk about gold, because we talked about enclosures a little bit for the English, and gold is going to be a key resource. Quite well protected here for Crackedy. But outside of the base, there's one here on the east side, which is kind of quite nice. Just a bit of wood walling here, palisade walling, it should be fine. If he wants to venture out to the secondary gold when he needs to. Gold on the west side as well. I mean, the gold's a little bit tricky here for Beastie, I have to say. There's nothing kind of in his vicinity. That's kind of unfortunate for him. I guess his golds are kind of a little bit further forward. It's pretty much mirrored on this left side though. On the east side, this is certainly favouring Crackedy a little bit more, and Beastie's a little bit more in the middle. These are the... Wait, hang on. Is he just missing a gold? I guess this is Beastie, this is Crackedy's. This is Beastie's. This is Crackedy's. This is Crackedy's. This is Beastie's. This is Crackedy's and this is Beastie's, maybe? It's so far forward. Bit rough, but we shall see if that becomes a significant problem or not. 2 longbows going to be chased down by the militia. That's going to push that back a little bit. Double broadaxe is in play for the Rus as well. And that's just how strong their economy is, right? They've got wheelbarrow and double broadaxe. He has got a stable, so I suspect that we see a couple of knights, maybe just 1 or 2. See if we can push the English off of deer. He's actually gone for a town centre on the stone. He's going to gather even more stones. It's going to be a 3 town centre play here for Beastie. He's talking about three new civs. He's going to go for 3 town centres today. Speaking about that, words. Speaking about that, by the way, the new DLC is coming out soon. Going to be interesting. Japanese certainly going to be one of those civilizations. And hoping we're going to be seeing another, well, according to Beastie anyway, hoping to see another 2 more. I'd be quite interested to hear what you guys would like to see. I think Byzantines is going to be quite a nice one to see if it happens. Maybe the Vikings, maybe the Persians. I'm not sure if Persians really fit in the era. I don't really know too much about history, to be honest, so I wouldn't know, but they'd be kind of cool civilizations to get, I think. Japanese is pretty much confirmed now. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below what civilizations you'd like to see coming to Age of Empires 4 soon. Palisade Wars going to be denied here, annoyingly, by Crackedy's scout. Yeah, he denies it quite nicely. Going to let the knight in because of that. It could have gone on this side as well, although it would have been a bit more trickier to go all the way around. So, yeah, he's pushing Beastyqt's villages off of deer, which is very, very nice for Crackedy. He's going to get their town centre up and running now, though, Beastie, on the deer pack. Longbowman going to push this back a little bit. And he should be able to get the palisade walls now, so nicely defended for now. Alright, well, things are going to be looking a bit slow from here on in, I think, because the walls are up, and that gives him a lot of protection, and I wonder if Crackedy is going to be heading in for a 3rd town centre. Yeah, he's got a 2nd town centre on stone, 3 town centre, mirroring his opponent. And survival techniques coming in for the English will get that deer meat a little bit faster. So yeah, in the meantime, we've got some time to kill, which I'm going to say, look, I probably say this most videos now, but it's actually been really helping the engagement, and I really appreciate you guys' support. It's been fantastic so far. I've kept up with daily uploads as well, because there's been some really good games. I think Age of Empires 4 is in a fantastic position. We talked about the DLC, and it's coming soon, and I think it's just going to get better. Hope you guys are excited about Age of Empires 4, just as I am. And if you have been enjoying the content, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. More importantly, if you want to see more casted games from me, and you like what you see, make sure you subscribe so you get those notifications by hitting that notification bell. That's probably the most important thing you can do, actually, to keep up to date with what content I'm given. But yeah, with that out of the way, I wonder if he actually gets that tree. I think he just about gets that tree down the bottom of the cliff, which is kind of nice. So more gold will be trickling in. Interestingly enough, Crackedy actually has 3 wood lines. You don't often see that. I think that might be just an overshoot of this one. Although he gets this one as well. It's kind of interesting. I wonder how many beasts he has. He's got 2, right? Oh, he's got 3 himself, actually, to be fair. Okay, fair enough. Usually you get 2, just 2 wood lines in Hillendale, but apparently there's some spawns where you get 3. Going to be getting that boar as well, which would be certainly nice for that food economy to, you know, get those villages out. Pumping out 3 town centres. It's not cheap. It's not cheap by any means. Alright, almost heading into the 10th minute. Now, I know if you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you may have seen some frame drops in previous videos. Not anymore, because I have a solution. I actually use frozen peas on my laptop, believe it or not. I do need to get a new PC, so hopefully we're going to be able to fund that soon. Maybe I'll wait for Black Friday, we shall see. But for now, it's black peas. Black peas? That's not black peas. It's green peas, frozen green peas. That's what's keeping my computer alive. And it's allowing me to cast the games without any frame drops, which is pretty cool. So thankfully that problem has now gone away completely. And speaking of gone away completely, or not necessarily completely, but looks like Crackedy's going to wall Beasty in. It's going to deny possibility of trade, but I mean, this is a nice shout. I mean, I don't think the English will really ever want to trade anyway, to be honest. Well, it depends on how the game goes, of course, but I mean, he could actually potentially, if he gets pushed on the front quite heavily and he wants to get a secondary gold, which CrackedyHere actually wants to try and do. He wants to deny the gold as much as possible. He's going to deny possible trade routes, get an outpost or a wooden fortress at least between these two gold veins. He's going to go to the castle edge with a high trade house. Where's he putting it? That's the question. Okay, he's putting it next to his main wood line, which kind of nullifies his hunting cabin. You can't really double gather from the same wood line, unfortunately. Villagers coming forward. Maybe it's going to be the White Tower. I think Castle Edge coming in for Beastyqt as well on the bottom of the hill. Keeps a couple of longbowmen there as well just to protect. There is an early night. Oh, the longbowmen there. The palings weren't in the right spot. It's going to micro this back and try and save the villager. Should be able to survive. I think Knight needs to probably back away from there because there's quite a few longbowmen. I think Knight dies here maybe. He's going to escape just about. Yeah, 41 HP on that guy left. It caused a bit of damage here and there. Okay, so both players are going to get to the castle edge relatively similar times. And I wouldn't be surprised to see both players look to try and get some of those relics. Lacking the wood for the monastery though. Here, CrackedyHere instantly anyway, at least. He gets to the castle edge first, but not too far behind there, Beasty, at all. Not by any means. Scout. Was that scout? Yeah, that was a scout, I think. Does go down for the Rus and CrackedyHere. But with 3 town centres apiece, it's pretty, well, it is very much neck and neck in villager count. The slight little edge there for Crackedy's economy, though, it does have not lumber preservation, double broadaxe. Although he might be considering getting lumber preservation. He is getting lumber preservation now he's in the castle age. Getting the night upgrade and also getting the food upgrade as well. The second one, fertilization. Economy's going to be rocking and rolling here for Crackedy. Pretty standoffish so far. The English knight going to charge in. Doesn't have the veterancy and is very low on health anyway, so I think this guy unfortunately is probably going to die. Unless he goes inside the outpost. He gets there in time. He lives to fight another day. Walling up here just to make sure he's not harassed by the knight. There's lots of mobility. Yeah, the knight was heading that direction as well, so good shout. Can I go for the ball on the west side there, Crackedy? Building up on that economy. I hear one relic being picked up by a Rus warrior monk. Bringing it home for the Rus. Quite a few knights out on the field now. And the White Tower is a very nice landmark. It's able to produce units 100% faster. A very strong bonus when you get to the castle age. And it's going to be putting a wooden fortress on these 2 goals as well. Well, CrackedyHere definitely wants to control the goals, that's for sure. Don't blame him. He wants to deny any sort of imperial age or, you know, heavy gold army composition as much as possible. That gold is kind of expiring though for Beasty. So he will have to venture out soon. I guess this is the natural one, but he's going to need to deal with the outposts, the wooden fortresses, before he can take any other gold safely. Could venture out here, but it's relatively far forward. A couple of crossbows popping out for the Rus. Not enough of a mass to walk out with though. And has expanded to the economy here on the west side. Would do well to get a wooden fortress though. He's got a couple of these hunting cabins gathering gold passively. He's got to be careful because there are a couple of knights heading that direction. There's only one knight here for Crackedy. 2 knights and a scout. Well, he should be able to take a decent decent fight here. Decent trade. Not 2v1 though. Here comes a secondary knight for the Rus. He charges. Gets a good hit. Good engagement with the crossbow being added in. And the knight chasing in to try and cut off the retreat. There's the charge. Takes out the scout. Nice picking off there by Crackedy. Army grouping up at the front. Quite a significant army as well. 33 to 12. I suspect it's because Crackedy is really focusing on those knights, right? Very expensive units compared to longbows and spearmen. But good control of gold. He spots the outpost. He's going to take this down now though with the spearmen. We'll take casualties, but he needs to take care of this, that's for sure. I wonder whether Crackedy decides to go in that direction now. Should be able to snipe off one of the knights. Beasty not paying attention. Yeah, he takes that out. Nice picking off there by Crackedy. We'll take the wooden fortress, but with some losses, taking a lot of villagers on stone. Looking to maybe get a keep in a forward position. We shall see what he decides to do with that stone. Does back off with the cavalry. Manages to get out of there as well. A lot of stables. Holy moly. 4 of them. So now adding in some archer ranges. A lot of production. So CrackedyHere really doubling down on the cast stage. Looking to pile on some pressure. Can't blame him. He's got 3 relics, which is really significant. Beasty, though, will get the other 2, it seems. And back at home, Beasty doesn't really have the production. Might be thinking about boosting that economy, getting to the Imperial Age, maybe getting that Berkshire Palace. We shall see. We'll have to see what he decides to do on this one. Now, I do think 2 TCs is actually really nice. But 3 TCs, it looks like it's something that might be establishing as a meta here, especially with the English. Starting to walk forward now with his army. Quite a death pool of army here, has to be said. I wonder where the army's been there for Crackedy. I suppose it's more expensive units, generally. The numbers are really lacking compared to his opponent. He's got to be careful here. Network of citadels coming in, boosting up the attack speed from 20% to 40%. So strong, right? Getting a couple of rams from the siege workshops. A lot of wood being mined there for Crackedy. Quite a decent amount of resources being plugged into those rams. Getting the sacred site on the west. Getting the sacred site on the east. Or trying to anyway. I don't think he will in the end. Getting the sacred site in the center. Maybe that's going to be denied as well. Probably. Alright, well, more farms coming out for the English. Relatively passive mid-game here. 17 minutes on the clock. I mean, things are certainly going to heat up soon, I'm sure of that. There's the keep in a really nice spot. It's going to be protecting 2 gold veins and a stone vein. That's super strong. You'd love to see it. 10 villagers over there. About to go home, I think. Knights are grouping together, heading forward. Going to look to try another outpost. I think it'll be key to. He needs to, really. There is a keep there, though. That will add a bit of range to that network of citadels bonus. You can see the golden hue around the units. Does push the villagers back on the west side. Alright, well, has a wooden fortress. Crackedy denying those golds a little bit. A lot of spearmen, though, for Beasty. That's going to be problematic for those knights. It does have quite a few crossbows. And quite a few mangonels. I think it's going to come down to mangonels at this point. Would love to see a 3rd one added, potentially, here. Going to head forward with rams, which might soak up a lot of the damage coming out of those longbows. Knights charge in, but they're going to go against braced up spearmen. But huge mangonel shot there. Taking so much HP off of those spearmen. And I think another mangonel shot should do a lot of damage. Can't see behind the forest, but a lot of damage was dished out. A lot of lives were lost for the Englishmen. And, well, Crackedy's pushing this back. The threat of the mangonels is just too strong. And Beasty doesn't have springles here. Could potentially produce them. Getting a mangonel of his own and a springle from the White Tower. Gonna need siege. A nice thing for the English is he doesn't really need a siege workshop. He can just use the keep in the White Tower. Loses the trebuchet though. Warrior monk goes down on the front lines. Knights charge in. Spearmen, or the militia coming in, adding to the fight as well. Nice addition. Mangonel keeps pushing things forward, but that keep is a bit of a problematic situation for Crackedy. He does have 2 rams on the case. Mangonel shots, gets off. He's going to take out the springled with the militia. Absolutely fine pickings there. Going to take a couple of rams to the White Tower as well. Villagers coming out though for that White Tower. Could lose a couple of villagers if those crossbows focus on the villagers, but it's going to focus on the army for now. Villagers coming out to take out these rams as well. Does significant damage though. Maybe has to back off. The numbers are kind of lacking here for Crackedy. He doesn't have the food income he would want. It's 20 villagers on food, just not enough. Especially when you compare to 40 from Beasty. On the south side, he's getting walled in, stonewalled. That will deny trade, and that's really significant. Depending on how long the game goes, that could become very, very important. Keeping the White Tower alive, maybe? I'm not sure he's going to manage it. Will he keep it alive? It's on... Yeah, he's going to keep it alive. Holy smokes, that's actually kind of huge. But it does force out a lot of repair costs. It keeps it alive for now. The rams weren't enough. This keep being repaired as well. And Beasty, he lives to fight another day. And maybe he's fighting to live another day as well. Switch it around. I would love to see Crackedy actually venture out on these gold veins. They're actually well protected, and if he can take this away from his opponent, That would be key as the game wears on. There's always that threat of enclosures, though, from the English. Has to be said. It's always a threat. With 114 villagers to 126, Crackedy is certainly doing very well. Killed quite a few. 20 villagers did die. I think on the repairs of the White Tower, predominantly. So Crackedy in a strong position. Just needs a bit more military, I think. Does have premium units, though. Stone walls coming out for Beasty. And oh, I love these stone walls, actually. I really do. The reason why he's carved up the map very nicely for himself. A lot of wood, berries, gold here. 2 golds as well, by the way, and the sacred site, all protected by the stone wall and this gold. And they keep there on the kind of foot of that wall. It's super, super nice, actually. I like this wall very, very much. It gives them a third of the map instantaneously, and he's kind of fighting for the middle. It's a nice approach, nice usage of the static defenses to secure parts of the map. We'll lose the villagers, though. He's already down on villagers. Saves 3 of them. They get out of there. Magadao can fire on the stone walls, so the stone walls might not stay up for long, but he's always threatening to push on the front lines. 3 spring walls for the Rus. Should be able to snipe the English ones, although there's 4 for the English. The other one's a little bit further back. Nice. Well, the single knight did come in somehow, but manages to die, I'm afraid. 3 Mangonels versus 4. Rus have to be careful. Does snipe a villager with the springald. Mangonel shot gets off. Does take a lot of HP off the villagers, but they survive. Needs to back off. Loses the Mangonel. On the retreat there, Crackedy. Heading into the 22nd minute of the game now. 3 relics, 2 sacred sites for the Rus. Just 2 relics here for the English. And it's going to go for the Imperial Age now with a high armory. Going to be making that siege engines a bit cheaper. There it is. There's a high armory. It's going to be a nice power spike for the Rus. Maybe looking to get Boyar's Fortitude for the Knights, although he doesn't have that many Knights left, actually. He lost a lot of them in the earlier fights. Going to slowly start working on these the stone walls of the trebuchets, maybe. Maybe the keep, we shall see. Now, looks like Beasty kind of itching towards that Imperial Age. I think once he sees Crackedy get there, he's going to want to go himself quite quickly. 3 trebuchets focusing on just a lumber camp. Nothing more. Nothing too serious. But despite having more villages, he's actually got a lot less military, Crackedy. So he's got to be careful to keep the military numbers up, because if he gets pushed heavy, he could see a bit of a snowball effect. And often now is the time he might be pushed with the high armory going up. I think in this situation, though, Beasty probably just needs to wall up and get to that Imperial Age himself. He's just so close to the Imperial Age anyway, so it makes no sense pushing. Going to secure, make sure there's no leaks inside the walls. And it is indeed going to be the Berkshire Palace right next to the Gold Vein and the White Tower in a nice spot. Going to be very difficult to push the middle, and he's got the east side secured. Could be the west maybe for Crackedy, that's the push in, but it's going to get stone walls on the west side as well. So Beasty very nice and walled up. Setting himself very nicely up for the late game. And the thing is, with the late game, with the Imperial Age coming in, I mean, this is going to be the first technology he gets for sure. Enclosures. Give him that passive gold generation. Super, super strong. For the English, you won't have to venture out in the middle of the map. And that's the biggest concern here for the Rus. Like, Beasty just has to deny as much gold as he possibly can, contest the gold. You know, the Rus can do nothing about the gold income for Beasty right now, because he's going to get enclosures. Once he does, he's going to get passive gold generation, which is incredibly strong. Gets a keep on this west gold as well, so I think Beasty will continue mining gold, just to make sure it comes in very, very fast. We'll see, we'll see. Heading into the 24th minute of the match now. Certainly passive at times, but definitely interesting to talk about strategies. Has a sacred site to his name now, Beasty. Going to take out the keep soon. This trajectory continues. 3 trebuchets. I wonder if Beasty looks to repair that, or if he just leaves it. Well, looks like he's just leaving it. Does have enough stone to repair, so could send some villagers a little bit later if he decides he wants to keep it alive, but apparently not. Looks like it's going to go down today, I'm afraid. Let's see the animation. I do love the keep dropping animation, actually. I have to say, destruction. It's a destruction. It's in flames. There we go. The English keeps goes down. Decent number of spingles as well, so nice siege kind of ball. Getting a Magadar upgrade. Adjustable crossbars. Getting castle watch as well. So really getting that sight radius on the wooden fortress, and elite army tactics for the infantry. And there's the enclosures. 1 gold every 5 seconds for each farm. Super, super strong. We'll even see how his economy really tees up. He's actually got 26 villages of gold anyway. I think Beasty's just trying to soak up as much gold as he can and getting and keeping a very nice spot. Sacred Site and Gold Vein. I like what he's doing. Slow and methodical from the English today. 5 Springles, 2 Mangonels on the back line. Heading forward with Spearmen, Man-at-Arms and a couple of Longbowmen. Backing off Crackedy. He wants some upgrades if he can. Elite Army Tactics ideally. 3 stacks all coming in for the English Civilization Siege. Could turn into a siege fight, but he's going to run in a little bit too close for comfort there. Those Springles, those Spearmen are going to poke and prod. Does lose one of those Springles there, Crackedy. The Warrior Monks engaging with the Spearmen, taking a lot of the damage from the other army, but it looks like Streltsy are on the way. Rus are going for Streltsy. Got to get that death ball of Streltsy. It could be really important. Well, with enclosures now in play, the gold income is going to really skyrocket for the English. See, it's already 2,000 gold per minute. He is mining gold at the same time as well. 28 villagers. But interestingly enough, only 1 villager mining gold there for Crackedy. What's that about? Did he just run out of gold or something? Doesn't seem like he can get that much gold from hunting cabins alone, can it? He's getting 3 relics to be fair as well, which certainly helps. He's broken through the stone walls, looking to see where he might be able to get value. Does deny their outpost with a little bit of a cheeky snipe. Thought the villager will come out to... Well, no, he's going to have to delete that Beasty. Well, he might not have to, but he could. He should. Keeps it alive for now. Villager should be able to repair that. Okay, maybe not. Maybe he shouldn't delete it. Maybe he should. Who knows? Because the horsemen are diving in again. Oh, just denied. He's torching it down even more. I think he deleted that in the end. Horsemen do dive in. They're not going to get too much value. In the middle of the map, Berkshire Palace standing tall and proud. Gold Vein expires there for Beasty, but he transitions very quickly to another one. City arrows, Tithe Barns coming in for Crackedy, Blacksmith upgrades, you name it, is getting it. Same to be said for Beasty. Gonna lose those horsemen for sure. Building up a nice massive siege on the front lines though. Crackedy needs to make sure he's got enough units to protect that. Well, something died. I think Crackedy might have just killed some villagers. His population blocks, so is Beasty, so this could turn into a bit of a meat grinder. 10,000 food in the bank for the English. 2,400 gold coming in per minute for Beasty. I think there's a big critical difference there between that and the Rus income. 1,700 gold per minute rather. Per second would be a bit crazy. 3 trebuchets make short work of the outpost. They're starting to edge forward a little bit. Springles, they need to be careful. The Berkshire Palace, focusing on that. The Berkshire Palace is going to be difficult to take care of, especially with an amount of siege there for Beasty. 3 Springles, 2 Mangonels. Huge Mangonel shots there. Beasty getting so much value out of the Mangonels. Should be another shot there. Oh my god, those archers got absolutely decimated by the Mangonels. It's exactly what Beasty would want. Not much of a frontline now for Crackedy. Might need some more Streltsy, getting biology for his cavalry, of which he has none. Well, just the 1 horseman it seems, a couple of horsemen maybe. He's riding in. Not all that many longbows as well though, has to be said. Looking to get incendiary arrows. Increasing the damage rate of ranged units by 20%. Kind of strong when you couple that with the network of citadels bonus. 4 Mangonels could dish out a lot of damage though. They get absolutely plastered to the ground, holy moly. 3 Springles looking to make some differences. And he needs to back off with the siege. Loses 2 Mangonels very cheaply. Well, not cheaply, but very quickly, I'd say. And Beasty up to 142 villagers. He's absolutely going crazy with the economy. Stone walls coming up on the east side, looking to protect that economy. Farming on the 3rd town centre. We pan back over on the middle of the map. Well, this is a strong push coming in from Crackedy. 5 rams. With some trebuchets on the back line and some mangonels. Doesn't have much in the form of infantry though. Would love to see more Streltsy. Maybe some crossbows added into the mix. Villagers. Oh, well, this is a big raid here. Beasty breaking in. Well, the walls weren't built in time. He had to try it. Yeah, he broke through here, Beasty. Tried to wall up behind, but wasn't able to do it. And they keep going there for Crackedy. They're just going to try. It's a lot of man-at-arms though for the English. Holy moly. I'm not sure this keep goes up in time. Especially if the man-at-arms get redirected. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. I thought he was going to go for the mining camp and give enough time for the keep to go up, but he doesn't. He heads back. A lot of villagers there. Going to be idled. 19. Some might lose their lives. In the middle of the map, the push comes in again with more rams. Going to go for the Berkshire next. Takes out the keep with the trebuchets. The Berkshire will be the next on the menu. Villagers do have to back away from that. It's a lot of lost villagers. Holy moly. Down to 113. Front line. I think the the Berkshire. I think it goes down now this time. There's not much HP on this guy. 1,000. The Rams working hard. Only a couple of villagers, handful of villagers looking to repair that. And it goes down in dramatic fashion. And the static defenses of Beasty starting to wear thin. That's kind of a bit of concern if you're his Rus at the moment. Although, holy smokes, he's getting so much value. Lots of villagers dying. And again, more man-at-arms sent forward. Ram as well. Needs more units. Streltsy being sent in. Maybe some militia could be summoned. He's got 17 tickets. He needs to deal with this on the west side. He needs to wall up somehow. It's very, very open. In the middle of the map, though, he's pushing hard with the Rams, getting a keep of his own in a really strong position right in front of the White Tower. It's key to get up, though. It's certainly key to get up this ramp, this hill. Lots of Rams. Love to see it, but the economy has moved over towards the east. Production moved over towards the east. Man-at-arms still raiding somewhat. Streltsy trying to get rid of that, but a lot of farms have been left abandoned. More man-at-arms coming in. Just can't catch a break here. They're streaming in. Spearmen are chasing. Again, more villagers go down. 106 is the total now for the Rus. Man-at-arms jumping in. Horsemen are there as well. Oh, I'm not sure. I mean, the keep should go up, but it might be taken down as quickly as it's been built. There it is. Just about to go up. Any moment now. Oh, there it is. Now in live. But the man-at-arms kind of don't care at the moment with the number of blacksmith upgrades Beasty's got. And it just kept the 6 out on the west, looking to get some wooden fortress to protect the golds. There are 2 gold veins here. This is actually a very key strategic position. I think Crackedy needs a keep here if he can. I can't afford it just yet. 630 stone rather. We'll need a couple more. Starting to gain some momentum though on the front line with 73 military versus 50. That is looking strong, but if Beasty holds on for a little bit longer, he's got the better economy, especially with enclosures. Look at the gold income. 3,000 gold per minute. 5,000 in the bank, 18 villages on gold. That's absolutely bonkers. Enclosures doing so much work for him. Look at the food count as well. Certainly rising. The Rus are keeping up with the food count, but definitely not the gold count. That could be the big difference maker in this game. Getting architecture as well. Or court architects rather. Increasing the health of buildings by 30%. A decent number of units here for Crackedy. Just need some siege on the back of this. He did have rams earlier, but they got lost to the fight and to the war, fighting underneath the keep. Would like to take this out though, I'm sure. Beasty would, but he's not getting in close enough. Longbowmen on the top of the hill. Man-at-arms tanking so much. Couple of hand cannoneers for the English. Not matched really by the Streltsy on the back line for the Rus. They're pushing forward. Takes out 2 of the landmarks, of course. Beastyqt has lost his Berkshire, has lost his White Tower. That leaves just his town centre and his council hall remaining. Right next to each other. Could be a big push here by Crackedy. I wonder whether he just gets all his villagers to come along because there's not that much military here. There are still 2 towns, well, there's 2 landmarks to snipe though to be able to do that. It's kind of crazy that to happen. I'd love to see it. 3 rams slowly making a push. Might lose the bombards here, Beasty. Has to be careful. Premium units, of course. 34 minutes of the game left. Pushing heavy, Crackedy. Excess in gold on the west. Bombard looks a bit freaky when it's packed up and running. Has to retreat behind the gates. It does manage to retreat though, but the rams will take care of that. Open the gates very quickly. The west side, another bit of a raid coming with 2 rams. Well, those will go down pretty quickly. The villagers are there on hand to get the torches out. Ram not being able to get through. Bombards supporting the man-at-arms and the archers on the back line, the longbowmen. Mostly Streltsy here for the Rus with a couple of rams. It's not going to be enough, I think. Only back to the safety of his own keep. Has taken down 2 landmarks, which is very, very key. But it looks like Beastyqt with the gold. Holy moly, 12,000 gold. Yeah, I mean, he just needs production buildings, right? Just spam gold and food units. And he will be looking strong. Although, having said that, against Streltsy is a bit trickier. He can't really go man-at-arms, can't really go knights. Maybe mangonels and longbows. And some spearmen for the cavalry that's coming in. Have to see. Using that nice little ability there, the longbowman. using arrow volley, reducing the longbowman's time to attack by +1 second after a duration of 6 seconds. Activates again. You see those incendiary arrows just absolutely ripping the Streltsy to pieces. Front line has been taken apart by the Rus, has to retreat to the back line with the Streltsy, has to get out of there. Another fascinating aspect to this game. Emerging. Beastyqt was almost kind of being pushed quite heavy, but is pushing back, holding on for dear life, and he might be able to push her back really heavily from this, because look at his economy. Struggling on food just a little bit, but gold is looking immense. He might be able to even buy some food at this point. It's pushing hard. Man-at-arms on the front, longbows on the back, using arrow volley as the little bit of boost he can get with his units. Mangonel etching forward as well. Might be able to get a good hit on the... Ooh, decent hit on the Streltsy. Not necessarily quite just what he wanted, but decent nonetheless. Mangonel, always careful. Got to be careful about those Mangonels. Always flirting with danger. The keep might be looking to take out the Mangonel. Backs off again. Nice timing. Rams keep streaming forward, but the keep might be on fire soon for the Rus. No villagers on hand to repair. Doesn't feel like he's got enough units to stop this. Especially with the man-at-arms getting involved with the torching down. 900 HP or so. Units are trickling forward. Now the Streltsy should be able to take out a lot of the units, but he might be losing the keep. The keep's on fire. He needs to send villagers in any case, because otherwise he'll be burning to the ground. The longbowman getting so much value from the situation. Streltsy not ideal against the longbowman. Oh, he loses the keep in the end. Wasn't able to repair it. The villagers didn't get there in time, and that's a big loss for CrackedyHere. Looks like Beasty going to repair his Berkshire Palace. He definitely doesn't want that to happen though. Crackedy, I suspect. 37 minutes on the clock. Mangonel firing off on the back line. Getting huge damage on the Streltsy. Another one. Huge shots. Here comes the Berkshire Palace. Gonna absolutely push everything back, most likely. But the army's committed now. I don't think they can back off really. Just lose units to the retreat. I would like to see some bombards coming out for CrackedyHere. He is in the Imperial Age. Maybe some more trebuchets. Where are they? He had a couple. Seem to have lost their lives. Anyway, it is what it is. Berkshire Palace now. Is it up and running yet? Don't think so. Or is it? I'm not sure. How weird. Doesn't feel like it. No, it's not firing, so it can't be. Man-at-arms diving in. On the west side, Beastyqt pushing the villagers off of gold on the west side. That's kind of key, actually. I think Beastyqt is doing a nice job of realising that gold's a win condition. He's got enclosures, his opponent obviously doesn't. His opponent does have 3 relics, but other than that, it looks like he's struggling to get that gold on the map. Everything on the east side of the map has been denied by those stone walls, the red stone walls, and it's being pressurised on the west. And I think Beasty's just soaking up the middle. It's actually kind of smart. Beasty's playing 2 lanes. He's playing the west and the east, making sure they're controlled and just sort of meat shielding the middle until the economy really starts to go haywire and build up, and then he can produce some really game-ending units. Streltsy trying to get a group together, trying to fight as one. Doesn't quite manage it, gets surrounded. Rams heading in the direction of the Berkshire Palace again as well. Don't think the Berkshire Palace is quite yet built. Oh, it is. It's working. CrackedyHere, he believes in the power of the Rams. Power of the Streltsy. I'm surprised not to see some bombards. Is it because of range? What's the range of the Berkshire, actually? Yeah, it's only, well, it's not that much. Have I select the right thing? No, whoops, my bad. Alright, well, it doesn't actually give you the range of the shots, but definitely gives you some important information. Rams are trying to get a wraparound on the Berkshire, not really managing it. Spearmen having a massive kind of meat shield effect, and same with the man-at-arms. They're going to try and take out the Rams because there are a lot of them for CrackedyHere. It's a lot of Rams, guys. At least 8s. I think one just died, but yeah, 8 or 9 or 10 probably. Berkshire Palace on fire almost for the second time in the game, potentially with Beastyqt getting so much value. There's not all that much infantry being shattered apart by them. A couple of Rams taking out infrastructure. More Rams trickling forward to the main fight. So slow to come back from the main base though. Beastyqt taking out so much. Siege workshops, units, the Rams are almost but gone. One more survival. Actually, they keep coming. There's 3 more. The units man-at-arms will take care of those 4 Rams in total. The keep there's not enough for the Rus. Not enough in any way. Beastyqt going past the outpost. Needs to backtrack a little bit. Was trying to snipe the villagers, I suspect. Let's just see if he gets that, actually. Love to see. He's going to go for a keep here in this position. Uh-oh. Beastyqt. We can take out a lot of lives here. If you get, like, here, start firing. Oof. Loses a lot. He's doing it again. Did the keep go up? I don't think the keep goes up. I don't know. The reload is pretty slow for the Beastyqt. Pulls the villagers back. And Cannoneers coming back to try and defend. 40 minutes on the clock. Almost heading to the 41-minute mark. And let's just check on the gold situation. Run out of gold here almost. Just as one gold vein on the left. Doesn't have access to any gold vein on the right. This has been taken by Beastyqt, looking strong. I think Crackedy might be losing his gold income very soon. Only at 100 or 700 gold per minute. You compare that to enclosures coming in for Beasty, 2,600 gold per minute. Seems a little bit broken if I do say so myself. A couple of mangonels having to back off. Beastyqt going forward with longbowmen and man-at-arms and hand cannoneers for the English. 6 villages. I believe they're villages, but there's 6 units garrisoned inside at this keep. If they come out, they might be facing a rude awakening. Oh, he's losing mangonels. How? It's kind of weird. Anyway. It is what it is. Could be getting geometry, increasing the damage of trebuchets by 20%. Could be a good shout to get some trebuchets. It looks like he's opted for bombards instead. I don't blame him. He'll be taking the wooden fortress out quickly. Now this is what we needed to see from CrackedyHere. He needed siege with his push, right? If you don't have siege, it's very difficult to take out infrastructure, and players can just reboom again. Looks like Beasty's going to make no such mistake. 4 bombards in total. Going to go forward with them. Beastyqt might just get us around. I'm not sure. It's kind of an interesting one. Beastyqt, holy moly, dishing out some damage. Beautiful. Trebbing from the west side as well. The English are absolutely everywhere. Bombards are trying to retreat behind the cannoneers. They're going to get away with it. Oh, there's a couple of militia though. Militia have been summoned. They're going to pick off some of the bombards. Huge value. Takes out 2 already out of 4. Possibly gets a 3rd. I don't think so with the Beastyqt. Oof. God, those militia got absolutely shredded by the Beastyqt. Beastyqt is still alive. Oh my god, that was close. 24 HP on that bombard. Couldn't cut it any finer, I don't think. How much gold still left here? 6,000. Not too terrible. Not too terrible. 2 trebuchets banging on this keep. That could be a problem if the keep goes down. A couple of man-at-arms there from the English could be devastating. Look at the economy there at the back. Kind of crazy. The production building's kind of nice here for Crackedy. Up to 200 population now. Oh, sorry, no. That's Beasty, that is, who's 200 population. Crackedy 156. We'll need to do a little bit more, I think. Siege trickling forward for Crackedy. Trebuchets. Oh, Beastyqt getting villager kills again. This unit's so strong, especially when it's protected, but there are a couple of units coming in now for the Rus. Lift damage has already been done though. Berkshire giving the signal that something's happening soon. Looks like it's happening very soon actually. 2 trebuchets on the west side, going to try and break through the palisades and cause some havoc. Good raiding value that Beasty's had throughout the game. Look at enclosures. Let's take a look how many farms Beasty's got. It's going to be fascinating. I've seen games with absolute bonkers numbers of farms. It's going to be 39 for him today, so far at least, so far. Both players in the Imperial Age. It's kind of a bit of a standoff, but Crackedy doesn't have the reserves that the English do. Look at that gold. 13,000 gold, 6,000 wood, 14,000 food. Crackedy is spending everything. Got plenty of food, but that's about it. Now, looks like Beasty trying to get another keep going on the stone just to suck up resources on the map. The English are very good at doing this, just playing passively and just make sure you rip all the strategic points and getting all the materials you possibly can. Take favourable fights and build from there. There's the Berkshire Palace, there's the bombards. A couple of mangonels, gets good hits on the hand cannoneers. Absolute devastation there. That was absolute mess. He should be able to push this quite nicely, Crackedy. He's got 40 military to 23. Could Beasty be being pushed back very quickly here? Kind of awkward for Beasty. He's got similar villager counts as well. He's lost a lot of villagers. Crackedy. A lot of idle villagers here. A lot of idle villagers here as well on the farms. Beastyqt doing so much damage. Beasty's killed 171 economy units. Crackedy only 63. That's really going to be a big difference, I think, in this match. Everything counts. Every little helps. Trebuchets are grouping up together. This is going to be a massive death ball, actually. Look at this. Man-at-arms, bombards, Beastyqts, springalds, trebuchets. Got everything you could ever want. Holy moly. Partly funded by the economy in the east, partly funded by the economy in the west, partly funded by the economy in the main base. Would do well to refresh the lumber camps though, a little bit. See he's spending his APM elsewhere. Strelts, he's starting to mass up a little bit. Sacred on the east side being decapped for like a second until the horsemen ran into the keep with cannon emplacement. Military numbers not looking as convincing now for CrackedyHere. Having to head back. I think the military numbers are very good for Beasty considering the units he's got. Very premium units. Can take the engagement. Bombards. Going to wait for the bombards to deploy. Takes out the Kremlin. We're looking to take out the Kremlin first. Down to 40 military. It's Crackedy. This is a problem for Crackedy. Wait, does he have gold coming in? Doesn't have all that much gold coming in. He's got no villages in gold, but neither does Beasty, but Beasty doesn't need it. He's got enclosures. This is an issue. He doesn't have access to this gold at the moment. This gold's gone. Middle gold, no way. East side gold, not a chance. It's been taken anyway. Well, this is looking bad for Crackedy. Where does he get gold from? He's got passive generation from the hunting camps, of course, and the high trade house, which is very important. Now with the lack of gold on the west side, not having this control, is actually going to hurt him a lot. Because he can't produce any gold units, right? He's going to have to focus on food and wood units, and wood is becoming a difficult situation as well. Does have 58 military. This could be the big fight that ends the game in one way or the other. We shall see if Crackedy can push this back. It might start something in terms of momentum. We will have a lot of static defenses to break through the Berkshire Palace, White Tower, but it could be done. Also engaging with the man-at-arms, and not all the man-at-arms engaging properly. Streltsy firing off, getting huge amounts of damage out of there. No springles for the trebuchets just yet, so trebuchets will go uncontested in terms of damage being done, but Streltsy should be able to pounce upon the bombards now. We shall see. Bombards heading further forward to get as much value as possible. I don't know, it's a bit tricky, but the military numbers starting to dwindle here for Crackedy. And, well, Beasty, he's deployed the arrow volley for his longbowmen. Not that many, though. 3 trebuchets need to maybe back off. Has a bit of army building up again, nice and fast there for Beasty. He can afford to. He's got all the resources he could ever want. It's because of enclosures, I think, and the strong economy behind this. CrackedyHere struggling for wood, struggling for gold, and, well, he's not struggling for military at this point. He's pushing forward once again, it seems. Is this the big fight? The Rebordoquins could make all the difference for this fight, CrackedyHere. Engaging man-at-arms, going to dive on the Streltsy. They're going to get surrounded. I'm not sure about this. Play by Crackedy, maybe overcommitted, taking a couple of rounds, going to try and focus on the Berkshire Palace. I'm not sure he's going to manage it. And cannoneers for the English, doing so much damage against the highly armoured, well, just the units in general here for Crackedy. He's going to send even more rams. He's going to go full crazy with the rams on the Berkshire Palace. He might get the Berkshire Palace, but I'm not so sure it's going to be worth it. He's got quite a few mangonels on the back line there, the English. Now, the English military has been dwindled just down to 28. Doesn't have that much infantry, not much meat shield, not much front line. The Berkshire Palace a little bit exposed. Will Crackedy be able to take it out? I'm not so sure. He's sending villagers. He's sending everything. Holy moly, he did control A. He's got nothing back in there, and I'm not sure this is going to work. I think Crackedy's had enough. Going to send all the rams. He knows his economy's behind. Enclosures in play. He doesn't have gold coming in at all, really, for Crackedy, apart from maybe just the gold coming in from the relics and sacred sites, or just the one sacred site, and the hunting cabins. But it's not enough, and the Berkshire does go down, but that will not be enough. Beasty's Berkshire has been broken. Beasty's gameplay hasn't been broken. He takes the game on Hill and Dale. Hope you guys enjoyed the casted game. Take care, and see you next time.